Two WWE superstars have confirmed that they want out, and Goldberg confronts a current AEW champion. But first, some interesting information regarding the upcoming AEW All In show has seemingly been leaked. Recently, an image would emerge on social media that many said was the seating plan for AEW's upcoming Wembley show All In, with there being numerous sections closed off, which led to a lot of trolling. Well, it seems that this picture was in fact fake, as the real seating chart has now emerged on Ticketmaster, which shows that the entire stadium has been opened up for the event, in addition to the floor seats, pushing the potential capacity into around the 100,000 range. Ticket prices range from between £1,500 for front row seats, which is around $1,800, down to £30, which is about $37 for the nosebleeds. Now we have an update on AEW's brand new weekly television show Collision, which is reportedly set to be announced in the coming weeks. Since the news began to surface, fans have wondered which Warner Discovery network the show will air on, whether it be TBS, the home of AEW Dynamite, or TNT, the former home of Dynamite and the current home of Rampage, or perhaps even somewhere else. Well, according to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast, his sources have told him the answer, with him taking to Twitter to say, "There's a lot of speculation regarding where AEW Collision will air on Saturdays. Despite TBS being rumoured, I am being told that TNT will land the show." Zarian has also noted in the past that an 8 PM Eastern time slot can be expected, with an official announcement expected on May 17th at the upcoming Warner Upfronts. On top of this, CM Punk is expected to lead the brand going forward as its top star, with a roster split expected between Collision and Dynamite. Earlier this month, former ROH World Champion Nigel McGuinness would sign with All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor as a color commentator. His journey to the booth began when he retired from wrestling in 2011 after a 12-year in-ring career that saw him work in TNA, ROH, as well as the independent scene, becoming one of the best technicians in the game. With AEW preparing to head to Nigel's hometown of London for All In at Wembley, McGuinness would speak with Stephanie Chase of Digital Spy, where he would state that he would come out of retirement if the circumstances were right, before naming his dream opponent for the show, and it's an old ROH foe, and he would say, "In terms of dream opponents, obviously it would have to be someone like Dragon, Bryan Danielson, given our history and the true story that's there. I think the best stories, the best angles in wrestling always had that undercurrent of reality, and it's just so real there. It's just so real, and it's so honest and authentic and nuanced as well, in the sense that it's not just as simple as there's a good guy and a bad guy. You can understand and you can identify with both of our journeys. We were going in the same direction, and now we've gone in completely different paths, but there's a lot of emotion there to establish, and even if that means me just being on commentary for a match of his as well." Former NWA World Champion Nick Aldis would recently make his return to Impact Wrestling, where he confronted Steve Maclin at the close of the Rebellion pay-per-view, who had just become the new Impact World Champion. Shortly after the appearance, a report emerged from PW Insider that Aldis agreed to a short-term verbal agreement and was not tied down to an Impact contract. Well, according to Inside the Ropes, Nick is in fact signed to a deal, and they would write, "Despite featuring in the main event scene, there was no official word on Aldis' new deal, if there even was one. In the wake of his return, it was reported that he was working without a contract, having reached a verbal agreement. However, Inside the Ropes has learned that Aldis has 100% signed a contract with Impact Wrestling. The length of the deal is unknown, but he has signed a contract." The news follows a recent story from Fightful Select that revealed that WWE had interest in Nick Aldis following his NWA exit at the start of the year, although a hiring freeze within the company brought an end to any communications with free agents on the market. Last night on Raw, Triple H would introduce WWE's newest belt, the World Heavyweight Championship, but it's set to be the main title of whichever brand Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns doesn't end up on. It appears that this isn't the only major plans that are in the works, however, as WRKD Wrestling would today reveal that one of the ideas floating around internally is for each WWE pay-per-view to be exclusive to just one show, and they would note, "One format discussed after the announcement of the draft and the introduction of the new World Heavyweight Championship on WWE Raw is the idea of potential brand-exclusive premium live monthly events." Brand exclusive pay-per-views does sound like a good idea overall, with this allowing more time to breathe between each big event for each brand, assuming that there would be one roughly every 2 months each. With that said, you can almost certainly expect the likes of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and Survivor Series to be joint shows. Earlier this month, rumors circulated that the Dyad, previously known as the Grizzled Young Veterans, had asked for their release from WWE. Despite the rumors, the duo continued to make appearances on NXT television. However, on Monday evening, Rip Fowler took to Twitter to confirm that he and Jagger Reed had requested their release from WWE, but their request was denied. And he would also confirm when their deals expire, and he would write, "Today, WWE have denied our release, which was requested on April 3rd. On 15th Oct 23, we will be free agents again. I personally want to thank all of our fans for your continued support. It means a lot to both of us, especially during times like these. We'll see you on the 16th. Fowler's tag partner Jagger Reed would also release a similar statement and said, "As of today, WWE has denied my request for my release. I want to thank you all for your support throughout my career. I'll never take that for granted. My contract with WWE expires on 14th October 2023. I'm excited to share our next chapter once we are free agents." Dave Meltzer would provide a little bit of context to the request on Wrestling Observer Radio last night, with him adding that the duo want to leave WWE in order to return to their home nation of England, with them seemingly homesick in the United States. The Dyad, who are currently members of the Schism faction alongside Joe Gacy and Ava, most recently appeared on the April 18 episode of NXT, where they competed in a three-way tag match for the NXT tag titles against Gallus and the Creed brothers, ultimately suffering defeat. It's currently unknown if they will continue to appear on NXT after making their request public. In August, All Elite Wrestling will head across the pond for the All In pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium in London, with them set for their biggest show to date. One of the names speculated by fans to be at the show is current free agent Bill Goldberg, whose star power would no doubt help shift tickets. With Goldberg currently in talks for a retirement tour promoted by himself, another option fans have suggested is a match with AEW's Wardlow, with this feeling like a natural passing of the torch encounter. Speaking with Simon Miller of What Culture Wrestling at WrestleCon, Wardlow was asked whether he heard rumors that Goldberg had pointed at him, declaring that he's next, and said, "Well, I actually pointed at him and I said, bet your ass I'm not next. Yeah, you guys just missed it. Goldberg did walk through just a minute ago and we exchanged words. Don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but we both mutually agreed that if the opportunity comes, we would love to see who really is next." When asked if Goldberg was a dream match for him, Wardlow would say, "Yeah, if you could have Batista, Lesnar, Goldberg, I put those three in the same category of like dream monster matches. Goldberg is, we just heard, Wardlow. We haven't heard that chance since Goldberg. I think Wardlow versus Goldberg, it doesn't get bigger than that. It does not get bigger than Wardlow versus Goldberg. If it comes down to Wardlow as the man to retire Goldberg, I can die peacefully." Whether or not Goldberg becomes All Elite in time for Wembley remains to be seen, but I can't think of many retirement matches that make more sense than a battle with Wardlow, with it potentially being a star-making moment for the up-and-comer.